The audit tool, we'll go into that. And this is a really great tool. You can go in and author your own audits. You can upload an existing audit if you already have them and start tracking it. But as far as the authoring, show them into the questions. Just go into one of them that's created. You can do it for fire extinguisher checks. You can go in and do it for any of the various checklists that are available out there on the audit, or excuse me, on the OSHA website. You can modify these questions. You can move them. You can add. If you go down to the very bottom, it allows you to add questions. And when you add a question, we allow you to create up to 7 different question or 6 different question types. You can do true, false. You can do multiple choice. You can do multiple select. You can do a range where it's like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, and you can do just a text where you gather a value or gather comments. And then the one that I really like is a safe and at risk question, because with the safe and at risk question, when the person taking the audit clicks the at risk, it will allow them immediately to generate an action if they want to. They're not required to, but they can check a box, which then allows them to generate an action, and then that action will be managed by the action tool until it's followed up and completed. And what I mean by managed, it's going to send a notice to whoever's been assigned to that action every 30 days until they enter in what the solution was that took, and maybe a photograph of what they did to solve that at any point. When you take an audit, you can every one of the questions allows you to load up a file to support your answer to that particular question. Like if you said, I don't think you need to load one. Okay. If you said that there was a problem with housekeeping, you could go in and have a photograph that shows what the problem was with housekeeping. And then if you generated an action with that in the action tool, you could generate and have a photo that shows a follow-up of where they cleaned it up. So it's a really great tool for auditing. We've got some clients that are using it for safe food auditing and other types of audits kind of outside of the safety realm. But it basically just lets you set up these forms and manage them. Let's go back into the view audits and go down to the one that's behavior, because that's the one that's got some.
Kevin, do some people have this replace their work order or use it as a work order system?
We have some clients that are using the action tool in this type of where they can, because the action tool also allows you to go in and create an action right directly by just clicking on it. We do have a client that's using that for their work order for generating safety work orders. So, no, the behavior. Go back to where you look at. Oh yeah, so we're at view results.
View results. View audits.
Yep. On the 16th. Yep. So this is a number of actual audits that have been performed for this particular audit that was created. You can go in and view the findings. You see off to the right there, you can view the findings. You can edit the findings if maybe you made a mistake when it was originally put in, and you can delete it if maybe there was a mistake and you put something in or didn't finish it and you just need to, and you want to get rid of it before you save it. But the nice thing is, you see some of those down there you can't edit or delete. Those are audits that have been approved and been entered into the system. A lot of times if there's not an approver assigned, you can just approve your own audit as you do it. But once it's been entered and saved as finished, people can't go in and edit it. They can't change the findings. But just because people do make errors and do make mistakes as they're doing data entry, we left it to where people can edit it up to a point that they say they're finished. Once you say you're finished, though, that data is going to be recorded and going to be viewable. So if we want to go in. Yeah, so one of the things that's pretty cool about this tool is if you go into this graphing tool and then you go to a year, so you pick up the last year's data, and you say, I want to look at the last year's data, so I'm going to look from last year till the current date. The audit that we were just in looking at, we can view findings. So you can do a Pareto chart that will show you all of the activities, and you can look at it by which ones are safe. You can look at it by which ones are at risk. And it just helps you really focus and view where you have issues. You can also do individual questions. If you go down and look at the individual questions, you can look at each one and see over that same time period that you defined up above, what were the number of at risk, what was the number of safe associated with that particular question. or in some cases it may be non-applicable because it doesn't really apply to the audit that was taken in that given area. So it's really a good tool for analyzing your program and analyzing what you're doing. I think Mike Hill has this set up to where he's doing, I think, 12 different major audits associated with behavior observation and kind of audits of their safety program at the different plants. And he's going to gather that data and start using this tool to analyze that data. Let's go back to the next tool.
Okay.
I'm going to just kind of go quick. The permit tool, we'll just quickly jump in there. Again, when you first go in, it shows you all the permits that are built. You can go in and do the same kind of thing you could with the audit tool. You can view them, you can take them. This was originally set up for creating confined space permits and automatically filling those out so that they can be stored and managed paperlessly. It's not really, it doesn't really work unless you have a tablet device for being out in the field when you go out to execute the permit, or when you go out to execute, say, a hot work permit, because you need all that information to be posted right there. But you could, the system does work with tablets and smartphones that have browsers on them. I know Mike Hill has taken his smartphone that he uses and gone through their facilities. As long as you've got cell service, you can access the site and you can enter your data online as you're doing it for an audit or a permit. But it's very similar to the audit tool, very similar. You can reference instructions. There's quite a few things as far as the way the different modules are integrated that you can put into the permit tool. Again, a nice way to author and build your forms and then track them after you've built them. Let's go back.
So Kevin, you got confined space and hot work. What other permits do you see people using this tool for?
Dangerous job. If there's like a dangerous job that only gets done infrequently, they may go in and issue a dangerous work permit. You know, where
Voltage?
Pardon me?
High voltage?
It could be high voltage. It could be associated with working on a hot fryer in a food plant. It could be associated with any of those type of dangerous places. That's typically, we've actually seen people even track things like their air permits or their wastewater permits, where they can go in and set some of this stuff up and load up, you know, the form right off the different agencies' websites that they need to track and manage. So it's pretty.
Hey Kevin,
Yeah.
I want to leave about 10 minutes for comments, and so if we could start wrapping up, that'd be great.
Okay. Yep. PSM. PSM is just all 14 modules of PSM. There's 4 of these that are interactive. The training's the same as the other training you saw. The incidents virtually the same as the other incidents you saw. The MOC, Management of Change, is interactive, and the PSSR, the Pre-Startup Safety Review Checklist, is interactive. But the rest are buckets where you can store all the stuff that OSHA requires you to store. And all the audits are set up automatically to queue you up as the responsible party to do those. Go ahead and go to the next in the main. The next would be the action tool. This is just a great tool for follow-up. People put their information in here. You assign employees to it. You can have approvers. You can have files that you reference, photos you reference, and then it follows up with you automatically via email. You can watch all the comments, watch all the history of this particular action until it's solved. And then even after it's solved, you can go look at it as a completed item for historical purposes. So I maybe went too deep into some things and maybe didn't go deep enough into others, but go ahead and hit me with any questions you got.